Hi, I'm Erik Estrada. This is Divine Renovation. Mwah!
This is Divine Renovation Destination New England, where we identify families or facilities in need of home enhancements to improve their lives that must be completed in a very short amount of time. Divine Renovation brings together caring neighbors, not-for-profits, and businesses to show that people still really do care. No doubt about it, Erik is a huge dog lover. But what brought him to ECAD, a facility in Winsted, Connecticut that stands for Educated Canines Assisting with Disabilities? And how does Divine Renovation figure in the equation? Well, we're about to find out. Dogs are a man and woman's best friend. Little did Lou and Dale know how true that adage is. Many years ago, when Lou's father suffered a stroke and became severely disabled, Lou, a dog trainer, realized she could train her dog to help her father with his mobility issues.
Came out of the hospital, and when the aides left 30 days later, he was not able to help himself. So Lou trained one of our house dogs to assist him.
And my dad was very close to me. I was close to him. It's a hard thing to watch. We taught him how to do things like retrieve and pull him up off the couch. And then I saw him starting to want to get better. And that's when I turned to Dale. I'm like, this is what we should be doing for our life. And we did.
In this spectacular facility, what are their specific needs? And how can Divine Renovation help?
ECAD is an absolutely amazing facility here right in Northwest Connecticut. It's hidden up in the hills. You would never know it even exists. And they are a global dog training facility. We have identified a need, and the need is to be able to train their canines as well as the people that will be providing their canines at home. So we've taken it upon ourselves to provide construction of these shelves that will then build out a really cool, movable, maintainable grocery store style setup at their shop.
ECAD not only provides an incredible service for their clients, it gives volunteers a tremendous purpose. Charlie was not even aware of ECAD, but after the devastating loss of his wife, he found his way to the facility.
She kind of directed me up here. We didn't realize that this even existed in our next town over. Eventually, I attended a graduation, and I saw the effect that these dogs had on people. I decided that I had to be part of that, help out with that cause. When I came here, I'm not sure that I realized it at the time, but I was a big bag of broken pieces. And by working here at ECAD, they managed to put those pieces back together again. So I was much more fortunate than Humpty Dumpty. All the folks of ECAD put those pieces together.
Oh, hi, Erik.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
Nice to meet you. Lou Picard.
Lou Picard.
Dale.
Dale, I'm Erik.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Well, welcome to ECAD.
That's great. I'm a dog lover. You know, I got 5 dogs, so
Yeah.
don't let me take one, okay?
I'm going to search you,
I got
pet you
5
down.
dogs at home. It's enough for now.
That's enough for now. When you need another, you call me.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
My wife says to me, find one with my name on it. I said, no, honey.
I'll find one that can do laundry for you.
Well, let's get on it.
All right.
Come on, here
Let's
we go.
Here we go.
Erik loves dogs and is anxious to meet the canines, and even does a pretty good barking impression for Lou and Dale.
You will not hear that sound in my building today.
Look how, God, they're so good looking.
So you want to take a walk out?
Please.
All right.
Please.
Try to be unemotional for a minute. So we're out here in the main training center now, and everything in here is for the dogs. So if we're looking at the refrigerator, the tug on there, that's for the dogs to open up a refrigerator.
Really?
The same thing with the dryer. We teach them how to go on treadmills. Some of our clients can't go out in the winter. They don't have the energy to run the dog, yet the dog still needs exercise. Wow. So our dogs learn to go on treadmills. They also open up doors, turn on light switches on and off. Yes. Get a med bag.
On weekends, the dogs are off duty.
These little bags here, these are for the dogs. They go to people's homes on weekends. We call it Home for the Weekends. We have volunteers. They'll come and get them. Because we don't train on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So they'll start
So
picking
they
them up on Friday
interaction in there.
in a home with blow dryers and kids running around and just family life. And they'll go home and they'll be back Monday morning for school again. So it's kind of, we're like boarding school.
One of those people who fosters dogs for the weekends is a retiree and part of a local motorcycle club. Fred Johnson learned about ECAD through a book he read.
I picked up the book until Tuesday, which is Louis Montauban's book about a service dog that saved him when he was suffering with PTSD. I read the book. I found out that Tuesday was an ECAD dog, and my wife and I started coming over here and picking up dogs to take home for with their weekend program.
That turned into becoming a board member and then president of the board. Why does Fred feel so connected to ECAD?
I'm really very attuned to veterans and supporting veterans, and I love dogs. It's that simple.
Kathleen Griffin works directly with new clients who may be apprehensive about the process.
I think everybody's always wanted to have that one fulfilling thing, that one fulfilling job that makes a difference, right? That you can go home knowing you made a difference in someone's life. And to me, doing this every single day, it's just beyond my wildest dreams. It is my dream come true. For me personally, I want something that not only I take great pride out of, but I see others succeeding and enjoying. And to me, there's nothing more important.
One of ECAD's graduates is Kevin, a young veteran who suffered from crippling PTSD.
You know, everyone's symptoms for PTSD are different. You know, paranoia was a big part of mine, and I didn't, have much of a social life or anyone coming to my house or, but to have him with me all the time, it's an easy icebreaker to make friends. To meet a dog, it's like always having a friend with you, trying to eat at restaurants, but my hand can always be under the table, petting him, and it's really changed my life for sure.
And it gives you a sense of security.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because you're not alone.
Right. When I first came home, I stayed in the house for probably about a little over 20 days for the first time before I left at all, and here I am now, and it's a big change, and I'm running marathons, I'm running...
Yeah, you ran the New York Marathon?
Well, New York half marathon. I'm trying to get into the big one, but I mean, there's 20,000 runners, and for me to be in a crowd of 20,000 people, taking the subway I'm flying next month for the first time since I've been out, and so... Yeah, it's been a remarkable difference for sure.
Meanwhile, Brian is back at his shop planning for the shelves he's building, which is so important for the training at ECAD. Erik visits Brian's workshop, which is home base for Divine Renovation this season.
Wow, this is wonderful here. What is this?
So these are the shelves we're putting together for ECAD. They are basically to set up a mock grocery store. They've been pegged out so they can adjust the height of the shelves, etc. They'll have backs put on them. We've got a total of 7 units. This is just one of them.
And this here is one, I've always wanted to, may I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Safety first.
Safety first.
Okay.
So we're just,
look at this.
it's ready to go.
It's like my hair dryer.
Yeah, don't dry your hair with that, please.
I love this. God, I love this. This is great.
Yeah, so this is just giving us some additional stability. for our backer.
And then what do you caulk this?
Yeah, that'll all get caulked or trimmed out,
Yeah.
so you won't be able to see any of the
You don't
nail
see the
holes.
tips of nails. Yeah.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
Inside ECAD, training is continuing because they have a long roster of clients waiting to meet their new buddies.
Go get the med bags. That's it. Bring it here. That's it. Get up to me. Bring it here. Come on. Bring it. Over here. Bring it here.
A little faster, Denim, a little
Here.
faster.
Yes. Good job. We're working on his speed. He's a little slow with it, so
Beautiful.
we're trying to make him go a little faster with it. Good job, Dad.
So we would use that for a veteran who needed it, or anybody who needed to take medication at a certain time, but they forget, or they push it off. So every time the alarm would go off, that dog would start looking for the red bag and bring it to him. Right.
So this exercise would help a quadriplegic be able to get, clothing and things out of the dryer as well as putting them back into the dryer. Look, get it, cut. That's it. Look, get it. That's it, get that side. That's it, get it. Get it, bring it here. Bring, reach, drop it. Yes, there you go. Good job, Dad. Good boy.
While training continues, plans are in the works for a big party to celebrate the recent birth of some future ECAD dogs.
I get the baby. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, look at these babies.
ECAD brings in what they call puppy nannies to help nurture the babies and take care of the mom.
I'm gonna hold your baby, okay? Is that okay? It's okay? Yeah.
Let your puppy smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottle that stuff.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, baby breath.
Wow, look at this room.
Yeah, huh?
What is all this? What are you doing?
So we're gonna be having a puppy petting party.
Ooh, how many?
9.
Nine babies?
9 babies, yes. I know, my favorite time.
Maybe at the end, by the end, there might be 8.
Yeah, we'll be searching you before we let you go.
Okay.
But yes, that's what this is all about.
This is
people come
great.
to, we call it a puppy petting party, and
So-
then people come up to see the mom and the babies.
Brian has completed the shelves and needs to get them painted and dried before all the guests arrive for the party.
How you doing, Dale?
Good.
Good to see you.
While the shelves have arrived and still need to be painted and stocked, our art director, Yuvi, is busy getting ECAD ready for the party. Clients of ECAD and their dogs are arriving, as well as guests of the party. One of those guests is very prestigious.
My name is Shelley Carter. I am a fire chief and a fire marshal. I am the first Black female fire chief in all New England. I'm also a mom. I have 5 amazing sons and a wife. I have an amazing husband who's a retired firefighter.
Chief Shelley was invited because there are a lot of people coming for the party and we wanted to make sure everyone would be safe. Now, the dogs at ECAD are well trained for an emergency, but the chief reminds us what to do.
Before the emergency happens, you want to make sure that you have a plan in place with your friends, with your family members, and folks that might come visit your home. So the first thing you want to do is find a meeting place, a place outside of the home that family members can gather. You want to practice that before it even happens. The thing you want to remember also is that you want to close the door behind you. What happens is a lot of times we leave the door open, which invites more oxygen into the room. So the whole idea is to get out, stay out, and close the door behind you.
Joe Short and his dog are graduates of ECAD and is bringing Grace with him for the annual evaluation. Many years ago, Joe was rendered a quadriplegic when he was hit by a drunk driver at the age of 21. These days, Joe and Grace are inseparable.
A young lady came here who was involved in a very serious car accident, and she was paraplegic. And one of the things that they trained her dog to do is when she dropped her stylus, the dog would pick it up and put it back in her mouth.
Gabby, if you don't mind, about your journey here, how you got here, got in this chair, got this beautiful, beautiful dog.
So in June of 2019, I was in a car accident. I was in Florida. I think it was 408. I was on the side of the highway, and a drunk driver came and hit me from behind. I was a passenger, and I was instantly paralyzed from the neck down, C3, C4, C5. And I was doing the Disney College program, and I've been wanting to do that for like 4 years, and I finally got in, and then yeah, I was only 3 weeks in.
Working for Disney. Yeah, must have been a childhood dream of yours to work for Disney. Get a little goofy and everything, right?
Yeah.
How does Bravo help you?
Bravo helps me tremendously. It gives me like more independence from like having people around me all the time. I could be like alone in my room and with the door closed, and if I needed the door opened, he'll open it for me instead of like having someone in the room with me. And if I needed something outside of my room, I would have to have someone open the door or call someone, but I have him to open the door for me.
When you find yourself a little stressed out, anxiety-ridden, does he recognize that?
Yeah.
And what does he do?
He comes and comforts me. He'll like get on my lap and like lay on it.
I would say, without exaggerating, there's a miracle every day. Because there could be an applicant coming for the first time in person for their very first interview, and that is magic right there.
Brian works with UV to set up a mock grocery store with some fun signs.
So we're setting up a mock grocery store. So our dogs learn how to grocery shop, but before they know it, you really can't practice in a real grocery store. They'll knock things off the shelf. The grocery store will want us to buy it all. And they're gonna bring in the shelves now, and then we'll have the dogs practice on that before we ever go to a real store. It doesn't matter to the dogs, they'll be familiar now, and then the clients, when they come in to train, they'll visually see it, then they'll be like, oh, my dog can grocery shop? Of course he can. So that's where we're setting up the mock grocery store for.
Oh, wonderful.
I am a therapist, so I work a lot with trauma recovery. I've worked with recovery for Sandy Hook victims as well as veterans. When we got Ollie, we had specifically wanted a dog to take care of people in the office. So we wanted her to be able to respond to PTSD, anxiety, and depression, etc. And they trained her for that. I mean, really just trying to get people to just come down in their emotions and kind of regain a sense of who they are. And when one of my veterans wanted to get a service dog, he had a dog trained for him. So a lot of what would happen with him is he would get angry and frustrated very easily. So they trained the dog to respond to that. And when I saw how the dog responded to him and how his emotions just went down, I was blown away, because he began to be able to get out in public more. He began to be able to socialize more. He was able to get his life back.
My name is Brandy LaBelle. I'm the kennel manager. The puppy party is super exciting, super exciting. Everybody loves puppies. You get to see them from the very beginning, and then in 3-4 months, if you're checking in on them, you get to see the difference in the dog and how much they grow. And they're absolutely adorable, and how smart that they are, even from a young age, starting at 2 weeks.
While the babies are too young to attend, the older trainees are joining in the fun.
you here for the party? Thanks for coming to the party. Yay! Yay. Hi, baby.
Shake it and break it. Thank ya. All right.